So this is technically my first ever horror book. But here are the warnings. There is gore, blood, and also it might get a little spicy, so be wary. Also, a good boy might die, so I'm warning you. But there are two versions of this, one for girls and one for boys. This one is for the girls. Tomorrow the boys will be uploaded. But before we get going, I want you guys to guess who this character is at the end. There will be hints, but my title will still be the same, so you probably already know who it is. But just pretend you don't. But anyways, let's get on. Click, click, click was all you heard when trying to sleep. Click, click, crack. That made you jump out of bed, turning on the lamp, looking around. There was nothing. So you got out of bed, grabbing the shotgun you kept in your room, opening the door. Your living room and kitchen looked normal. Nothing but your dog. Nothing was wrong. You checked the bathroom. It was fine. But then what happened? Then what had been making those noises? Click. There it was again. What was making it? All that means is that it's outside. Then how were you hearing it from inside the house? You weren't dumb enough to go outside in the dark, and even more, you just had to live in a forest. Well, right in front of one. Your backyard was basically a part of it. You opened the curtains that covered the door to the backyard, seeing the forest full view. Your dog had followed you, barking at whatever was out there. You tried to see if you could see anything. Nothing. You could only hear your dog barking. You went to the kitchen and shook a bag of treats before taking one out and bringing your dog into your bedroom, before going back into the living room and slightly opening the door. Click. You could hear the noises, but you had thought that maybe it had been your clock, but the problem was that it was quiet this whole time. You turned around to look at it. You became too panicked. The clock hands were going haywire. You had begun to panic. What was going on? Click. There was again, but louder. What was going on? You didn't know what time it was, but thanks to your clock. So you walked out with your shotgun still in hand. Thankfully you had slippers on, so your feet wouldn't get cut. You felt stupid for coming out there. Click. But the noise seemed to quiet down. Your plan was to get to the nearest town. Now you fucking regret living out in the country. God, how stupid you were. You saw something in front of you. Its body looked larger than yours. Click. Wait, then why did the clicking noise so quiet when it was coming right in front of you? You stepped back and felt something go through your slipper, then your foot, like a knife. You scraped out. You then covered your mouth, but it didn't help. You looked up and saw its head was facing you. Its clicking noises one side that shouldn't be normal. And as it did this, you could hear the clicking, its eyes staring at you. And then you could see it smile. You aimed for it and shooting it, but nothing happened. You knew after a shot to the head, your gun was worthless to you. So, what was the next thing? Just accepting fate? No, you ran back to your house. You could hear it follow behind you. Your foot had been hurting so badly. You could see the light of your porch, the safety of your home making you run faster, opening the door and slamming it, locking the door and closing the curtains. The clicking noise being able to be heard everywhere. What scared you was when you looked at the front door. You could see it facing you. You could hear the nails scratch on the window. It made your skin crawl as it watched you. Gladly, the door had been locked, but you could see the handle moving. It watching your every movement, every breath you took. It could see your face and the way you acted. But you needed to get help. Leave this place from whatever this was. So you went to your bedroom, grabbed your dog, and made your way down the stairs, staying in a spare bedroom and going into the bedroom. Since you have some first aid in there, you could hear your dog barking at the closed door as you quickly wrapped the stab that was bleeding. Way too much for comfort. You had your phone, trying to call 911 or whatever your emergency number line is. But when you looked at your phone, no Wi-Fi, no service to call the only people that you could get safety from. Great. And you were not going to run out there with that thing watching you and your every movement. Smash! You heard glass shatters hit the floor above you, and you peeked up to the stairs and saw it had been looking down. Its yellow eyes stared down, and it was smiling at you. You quickly closed the door and locked it, making sure that thing didn't get in. As soon as you made a little way from the door, you dragging your dog by the collar, the door swinging open, and the shock made you let go of the collar of your dog, him running to protect you, but that thing swung its arm, hitting the poor thing into the wall, knocking it out cold. You gasp, it lurking towards you, cutting you in the chest. You had been on the floor with that thing on top of you now. Smoke filling up the room as that thing smiled at you. The smoke becoming so bad, it filled your vision. The smoke clearing up, and you see a naked girl on top of you. You quickly moved your hands in front of your face. You could hear her giggle. Wow, you look just like my previous crush. But she's dead now, she giggled. What do you mean? You panicked. I ate her. She giggled, turned into something more terrifying. Creepy. Please don't kill me, you had cried. This is where it gets spicy. I'm not going to tell you to stay. I'm not going to tell you to leave. Because one, you're still going to watch this. Because one, I do it. But anyways, spicy time. But she trailed off, looking towards your chest where she had cut you, placing her tongue where the cut was, licking it and sucking on the spot, ripping the rest of your shirt off, trailing her hand down to a certain spot. Playing with that was done there. Okay. With a pop from your chest, she trailed down to between your legs, placing her soft lips on it, licking and sucking it. The pleasure made your body shake with pleasure, placing your hands on her head to push her closer to it, then placing 2 fingers inside you, moving them in and out, making you moan The sweet sounds you were making made her lick and suck more and go faster with her fingers. She took her fingers out and placed her tongue inside, moving in a circular motion. Her finger rubs your clit. You at this point began to squirm, trying to move her head away from your body. You could hear the wet noises coming from you and her. You could see her smiling. Oh, look at you. You're just too cute, all red in the face. She moved up a closer look to your face. Once at your face, she began to kiss you, her fingers still moving in your clit, making you moan out, where she could push her tongue into your mouth. She made sure you had no power to this. With a pop, her fingers were off, saliva making the both of you connect, her hand sliding out and putting it in her mouth, licking whatever was on it. Spicy time is over. So sweet. You know what? I may keep you as a pet. You were so much sweeter than my last crush. She giggled. What? You spoke out tiredly. Anything I ask, I wish, and desire you will give it to me. She spoke. On one condition. You spoke, putting your hand on her cheek. Her cheek began red as she smiled. What is your name? Himiko Toga. She spoke, kissing you, then getting up, picking you up and placing you on the bed, covering you up with a blanket and kissing you on the forehead. Bye-bye, Yin. And with that, she left. Prologue, because I know everyone's going to kill me. The dog, after a couple of hours, had woken up, crying and whimpering at whatever was going on. He saw you laying on the bed and came over to cuddle you because, one, he felt bad that he didn't do his job.